Welcome to the Farm to Child module. This brief module is offered as a complement to early care and education college courses that cover health, safety, and nutrition. It is not meant to be exhaustive, but simply highlight important best practices and key information, as well as provide you with additional resources. There are many benefits to Farm to Child. Here are at least 5. 1. It's a recognized pattern now in the United States that children are gaining weight at younger ages than ever before. And they are not growing out of that weight like they used to, but are instead carrying excess weight into adolescence and then adulthood. 2, there are several studies showing that health interventions focused on 2 to 7-year-olds are more effective than those targeting older children, and the effects of those interventions are lasting. Preferences for food and physical activity levels are set between ages 2 and 3. It is easier to change habits among 0 to 5-year-olds than change habits among high schoolers, let alone adults. 3, there are several economic health studies that have shown that intervening early means saving lots of money at the individual, state, and even national level. 4, we are competing for children and families' attentions against a host of industries marketing low nutrient foods to children. It's best to get in early. 5, helping children understand food systems and where their food comes from is important at an early age. It can connect them to the work and human side of our food system. This is also an excellent way to connect with and celebrate local farmers and producers. Farm to Early Care and Education, or Farm to ECE, is a nationally recognized program created to help enhance children's educational experiences in early care settings. It is based on 3 core elements: education, gardening, and local food. Farm to ECE takes place in all types of ECE settings: preschools, childcare centers, family childcare homes, Head Start, Early Head Start, Family Friend and Neighbor Care, as well as in K through 12 school districts. The wonderful thing about Farm to ECE is the flexibility of the programming. Involvement can be within 1, 2, or all 3 of the components. If you are not able to take on local procurement, you could start discussing agriculture and nutrition with library books, songs, or toolkits. Maybe you want to take just one item on your menu each month and switch it to a local item. Whether you purchase that item directly from a farmer or take the extra time to find the Colorado Proud label at the grocery store, you have participated in Farm to ECE. Nutrition education can look many different ways and is flexible. It can include field trips to farms and visits from farmers and chefs. One very powerful tool that can engage children is the act of storytelling. Storytelling could include farm, food, and gardening books, or sharing stories that incorporate different cultural practices related to food and cooking. Experiential or hands-on learning is an excellent opportunity to incorporate nutrition education into the classroom. Try taste test, sensory exploration, and cooking activities that also include math, science, and literacy lessons. Here are some free recommended curricula and resources. USDA Grow It, Try It, Like It, Harvest for Healthy Kids, or Pint-Sized Produce are wonderful examples of curricula that can be downloaded at no cost and implemented with minimal cost to your program. Grow It, Try It, Like It, which recently released a version for home care providers, contains nutrition education aligned with the child and adult care food program and focuses on specific fruits and vegetables. Using a supplemental curriculum like Harvest for Healthy Kids will allow you to implement a variety of materials that may align better with the seasonality of Colorado produce. SNAP-Ed Culture of Wellness in Preschools is available to eligible sites. It includes hands-on nutrition education with tie-ins to USDA MyPlate and adult-oriented classes for caregivers, as well as policy, systems, and environmental changes that focus on gardening and farm to child. Taste tests are intended to encourage adventurous eaters that grow to love and taste the texture of healthy seasonal fruits and vegetables. They are an introduction to foods the children may see again at lunchtime, grow in the garden, or on grocery store shelves, so students can build familiarity and meaningful experiences with those foods. Here are a few quick tips for a successful taste test. 1. After snack time, when tables have been cleared and cleaned with all children seated together, begin your taste test. 2. Ask the children to be scientists. 3. Compare 3 types of vegetables and fruits, asking, have you seen this color before? Has anyone tasted something purple before? Do you think this grows on a tree or in the ground? Will it have seeds? 4. For items that are very different on the outside than the inside, for example, a pineapple, let the children feel and smell the outside before exposing the inside. 5. Encourage them to make their best guess as to what they are about to discover. And 6. Now it's time to taste. Have the children try the food together, share thoughts, and describe what they are tasting. Then ask if they would try it again. Remember that just showing the food to the child and having it on their plate counts as exposure and will lead to eventual progress. It can take up to 15 exposures before a child will feel comfortable with a new food. Whether you have no outside space and will focus on all indoor planting activities, such as planting beans, seeds in bags or cups, or a small indoor herb garden, or you have a huge playground and can accommodate a large raised bed garden, there is a way to bring gardening to your program. Which type of garden you choose is largely dependent on space and funding. It's important to encourage staff, family, and community members early in the planning process for a garden. There are a variety of supports to starting and maintaining a garden. If you have active clubs such as Scouts of America, 4-H, a wood shop at the high school, or a caring church community, we encourage you to reach out to these groups. Assistance with building the beds, donation for materials, and more could be available. The Colorado Farm to Child website is also a great resource for information. Gardens can be used as an extension of the classroom. Gardening provides the perfect space to allow experiential learning to become the norm. Experiential learning contributes to appropriate cognitive, physical, social, and emotional development. These experiences invite curiosity and excitement about the world around them. It also enables children to pursue their own areas of interest and to work through problems as they arise in real-life situations. Gardens also offer a safe place to take risks. Gardening and outdoor interaction with nature provides a place for play and inquiry. Until a child has truly witnessed a tiny seed grow into a large plant and puts off tiny green fruit that slowly turns red and recognized as a tomato, they will not understand the value of that beautiful tomato on their plate. Gardens by nature include mud, dirt, bugs, and even the occasional critter or snake. All of the best planning and development in the world will not mitigate these items, nor should they. Allowing children to explore and work collaboratively to navigate the garden will lead to learning that cannot be found anywhere else. Can the children take off their shoes and feel the mud squish between their toes? Social relationships can also be developed in the garden. Working with peers to plant, water, and harvest require teamwork, negotiations, and information sharing. One last note is that we, the parent, caregiver, educator, learn from the children during these experiences. Sometimes children will tell us something about themselves or the world that we may not have noticed in the traditional environment. Children make amazing observations about the world around them as they are still working to figure it all out and find their place. The garden also provides a real-world context for exploring math, science, social studies, and art ideas. Local procurement means buying local. For some, local can be very specific to within 10 to 50 miles of your center or home. For others, it could be the whole state of Colorado. For those who share a border with Utah, Nebraska, Wyoming, or New Mexico, maybe it's more regional. However you define local, it means you are buying from a farmer, producer, rancher, or even fishery. Buying local produce, meats, dairy, eggs, and grains supports your local economy, jobs, and children. Providing local food to children also provides increased access to food in your community. You have the opportunity to bring fresh local produce and other products to families. Through local procurement, you have the opportunity to buy direct from farmers and producers at great prices. When purchasing whole cases, you can pass the savings on to your families. Colorado Farm to Child is supported by a collaborative that brings together over 150 supporters to share their voices and experiences as we develop resources, mini grant opportunities, guides, and implementation of the Farm to Child roadmap. The Farm to Child Collaborative envisions a state where fresh produce and other nutritious foods from local farms are essential components of strong and just local and regional food systems. To assist providers along their journey, the collaborative created many resources such as the Colorado Harvest of the Month, which provides an easy-to-follow framework and easy-to-use materials that showcase locally grown foods each month through beautifully designed newsletters available in English, Spanish, and Arabic. Resources also include the Quick Bite culinary training videos on the Professional Development Information System, Eating, Growing, Learning, Colorado Farm to Child Guide, and the Colorado Roadmap, which is audience-specific guides for local food purchasing. Let's dive into early learning standard alignment. In a perfect world, Farm to ECE projects will not be extra, but will simply help you provide high-quality education that aligns with the standards, tools, and programs that guide your work day to day, like Colorado Shine's Quality Rating Improvement System, Colorado Early Learning and Development Guidelines, Early Childhood Environment Rating Scale, USDA's Child and Adult Care Food Program, and licensing regulations. In addition, if you are accredited by the National Association for the Education of Young Children, Head Start, or Early Head Start, Farm to Child can align with these requirements. Now let's examine some examples of this alignment. In the first example, we are looking at the Colorado Early Learning Development Guidelines. Children develop understanding of number and quantity. The activity is a taste test that ends with a vote, allowing children to count number of hands in the air, make tally marks on a sheet of paper, and then showcase the results. Maybe a graph would be great here. This is a farm to child activity. Second example also includes tasting vegetables. This is in alignment with QRAS for child health promotion, and this activity could take place in the garden or the classroom with fresh produce. Let's take a look at a policy example. This one is for the NAEYC Health, Nutrition, and Safety Policies and Procedures. The program has written policies to promote wellness and safeguard the health and safety of children and adults. Evidence for this could be a wellness policy discussing how the school promotes fresh, local food and meals and classroom activities. This example shows how you can get credit for your farm to child work. The aim of the Farm to School program is to enrich the connection communities have with fresh, healthy food and local food producers. This is done through improving food purchasing and education practices at schools and early care and education sites. Improvements are made in the food procurement stage, as well as through education and interactive activities of the school. Procurement is the way local foods are purchased, promoted, and served at the school site. This could be in a school cafeteria, classroom, or extracurricular environment. Farm to school education activities involve topics such as agriculture, nutrition, or health promotion. Lastly, Farm to School encourages hands-on learning through gardening. The Farm to School program is administered by the USDA Food and Nutrition Services. It aims to promote the use of local funds in child nutrition programs. Farm to School works with pre-existing child nutrition programs, including the National School Lunch, Summer Food Service, and the Child and Adult Care Food programs. Research shows that Farm to School program supports health kids and has positive downstream effects on communities. Here's a summary of the important impact of the Farm to School program in Colorado from 2023 Farm to School Census. As you can see, it has been widely implemented in 124 different school districts and more than 1,000 schools across Colorado. The funds were spent on increasing the purchase of nutritious local foods. These resources support the content covered in this brief module. We encourage you to take a look at them for more information and to share with families in your care. Thank you for joining us to review Farm to Child. This module is made possible by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and was developed in collaboration between the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, Colorado Department of Early Childhood, the Integrated Nutrition Education Program, Culture of Wellness in Preschools, Pikes Peak State College, and Front Range Community College.